On the way, but I just got home.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we are going to talk about object-oriented programming, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with a class, and then we'll go on to what a constructor is. Then we'll talk about inheritance, and then yeah, I think and then super. We'll do super, and then we can end there for today. Right. Right. So I'm going to create a class called Stone. That's the example we've been using. Right. So what did I say? It has attributes, right? Shape. So a shape could be, what could be a value for a shape? Something, when we say the shape of something, what could be like a shape of something? I want you guys to help me with this. Oh.
Shape.
Yeah, shape. All right, so let's say square. Square is a shape, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then surface. I say surface equals to rough, right? And color. We can say the color is
Cinema, is it possible that you can zoom your screen in a bit? Your writings are very small, eh?
Okay, how do I do that? Do you know how to do that with VS Code?
No.
Let me check the settings. There's a zoom option. Oh.
If Robert is not around.
Robert is here. Robert, how do I zoom?
So that we
I think you go to Ima, please, a minute, I'm on call. I'll join you soon.
I think you go to view appearance. You should see zoom out there. Zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in.
Okay, so it is equals to and yes. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so we've seen the class called Stone. Is it clearer now?
Yes, please, it is.
All right. We have a class called Stone, and the Stone has attributes called shape, surface, and then color, right? All right, so like I said, I don't know when I've said this. An object is an instance of a class, and a class is a blueprint of an object, or a blueprint which is used to create an object. You see, the definitions for both of them go hand in hand, right? So now that I have a class, to make use of the class, I have to create an instance of it, and that's where the object bit comes in, right? So I'm going to name this instance my object or my OBJ, which will be equals to the Stone class. You get it? So now when I do print my OBJ, right, and I run the file, the module OP, what am I saying? Wow. Okay, I should have done to print one of the attributes here. So shape. Okay, so it has returned square because that's the shape we give here, right? So if I'm to print surface, so we will expect it to return rough. You get it? So with this particular class, I've created an object. So the idea is that since the class is just a blueprint, if you understand what a blueprint is, it's like the skeleton for something, or for like the module for the real thing. It's like the real thing. It's like I don't know. Can someone help me with the definition of what a blueprint is?
And we also say a template.
Nice. Yes. It's like the template for the real thing that you're supposed to do, right? So this being the blueprint, you can use the objects, which is the real thing, to create instances of it. So you can have a stone, right? And this time I'm just saying that the stone by default has color being white. What if I want to change the color to red, right? Then I can do my obj dot color equals to red. So now when I print my obj color, right, I'm expected to get red here. You see, it didn't print the white, it printed red. So the whole idea of a blueprint is that it creates a skeleton for you to determine the body parts of it. Okay. All right, so that's the first bit of it. So now let's go to what a constructor is. So in programming, right, I remember in school, the lecturer had to explain this to us like a lot of times, and we still got confused of what a constructor is. So a constructor is a special method which is already predefined in your code or in a class, right? Which is used to instantiate or instantiate is the best word. It is used to instantiate a class. All right. Does this make sense to anyone?
Very big English.
It's a big English.
The word is big power, instantiate.
All right. So you saw that I did my object equals to stone, right? I know you would think in your mind that the stone here is referring to the class stone here, right? But I'm going to be legal and put it to you that the stone here is referring to a constructor in the class. So in other languages, right? Let me be Java a bit. In Java, you create a class like this. So class stone, right? And then you have the opening and closing braces. And then you do public color, right? Before you come and do, you create a constructor. So the constructor will be the same name as
in Java, you have to bring the this, the type.
Public. Yes, the type and the access modifier.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So this one would be like
the variable you created to must be given type or public int color or
public string, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been a while. Yes. Thank you very much. So
this is what Python has done to senior men.
Yeah. Python has made us very lazy when it comes to programming. All right, so this is the constructor, right? You see that the constructor has the same name as the class. So whenever you want to make use of the class, you are actually making use of the constructor.
Yeah.
You get it? That is what programming, when it comes to constructors and classes, that's what we are trying to do. Now let me go back to my Python, right? So in Python, we don't actually use the word constructor. What do we have constructor? But we don't use the word constructor. We use the word initializer. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Because constructor and initializer, they do the same thing. So in our sense as Pythonians, we use initializer. So what the initializer does is it is also predefined whether you call it in this class or not. It is by default, it has been called, right? But in case or for the instance that you yourself, you want to receive or create your own constructor, then you have to call it again, right? I'm going to create another class called person. And then in that, I'm going to create my constructor. A constructor is a method, right? You know what a method is? Like I said, a method is a function in a class. So this is how a constructor is created in Python. All right, so you can see that it has the function keyword here, def, and then it has the underscore, init, underscore, and then self, right? So in Python, when you create a method or a function inside a class, you have to include or start with the parameter self. It is not a keyword, but what we are trying to do here is that the first parameter of the function in the class is not like a parameter that you can use outside the class. You know, in other languages, they don't have self, they have this. So you can do, I shouldn't have cleared the Java codes, but you could have done this dot something or this dot another thing. But in Python, we don't have that. So we use the self for every method so that in case we want to associate or call another attribute in the class, you can easily do that with the self. I'm going to create a parameter, a variable called color, which will be still have the value white, right? Okay. So now if I want to, let me make use of this init. I'm going to do, what attributes do we have here? Shape, and then surface, right? And I'll do self.shape equals to, I don't want to confuse you, class shape equals to shape self.class surface equals to surface. Please, if you have any confusions, just ask. You can interrupt me, don't worry. Just ask. I want to make sure you guys understand this concept before we go on to more advanced issues. Display. So this variable that I'm creating right now, this function that I'm creating right now is a member. It's a method or an operations in the class person, right? Then I'll do print self.class surface, right? All right, so what I've done here is I have a class called person, and that class has a default parameter or a default member variable called color, which is white by default, right? And then I have an initializer here, which has, or which takes two parameters called shape and then surface. Now, when I do self.class shape, I'm trying to refer to a member in the person class. I want to know which language are you guys familiar with, C++ or Java? I want to use that one to explain, because in Python, trying to explain what I'm about to explain, it will be very difficult for you to comprehend. So I want to know which language you guys are okay with, so that I'll use that one as an example. C++, PHP, Java, which one? Hello?
I'm not for Mukase. Oh, Joe. Me that I'm a late comer, I don't want to be leading the discussion. Otherwise, I would have.
I'm a copy.
Oh, they are sleeping.
For me, I'm familiar with C#.
Hey.
C#.
Yeah.
All right. What about some more Kofi Jima?
A C# should also be good in C++, so you can use C++.
All right. So Yeah, it should also be good in C++. So in C++, right, it's just like the way Java also does things. So class person, right? Let me use another name, animal, right? Or do they have brackets, opening, closing brackets here?
No.
They don't. I don't think they do. They don't. And we have private members, right? But we have two public here.
Yeah.
So private.
I think it's only public class. Oh. The public will come before the word class. Okay.
The public comes before the word class.
Class. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, this is what they taught us in school. They wasted our time, Papa. All right. So public string color, right? And then I think in C++ for the constructor, the name is also construct, right? Am I right?
It's the same. It's the same constructor. Man.
The same constructor.
Yeah.
Does it not have any like a underscore in front of it?
No.
No underscore.
All right. So
Yeah. So that you bring the parameters. Or you do the initial constructor without any parameter. Are we here? I can't hear anything again.
Yeah, they are here.
Okay.
Hello, Ima. Hello, Ima.
He's offline.
Let me call him out. It's the network. Oh.
I'm sure. I'm quite sure it's a network. You can pause the recording.
Yeah. Let me do that.
Person attributes. Name. Oh, what is that, everybody?
I forgot to.
Name. First name, and then last name. All right, so we have first name equals to first name, last name equals to last name. All right, so now we are going to do, let's just have this class, right? So this is inheritance in programming is it's an OOP concept that allows for methods and properties of one class to be inherited by another class, right? So it brings about a parent and a child situation. So someone made an example of a vehicle and then car and then motor and all that. So in that example, we can say that a vehicle is a parent class and then car is a subclass or a child class of the vehicle class. Do you get it? Because we can have a vehicle will have a lot of attributes because motor is a vehicle, right? Car itself is a vehicle. Are ships vehicles? Do you consider ships as vehicles?
Yeah, I think so.
So all of them can have, but all of them will have common attributes among them. You get it? all of them have common attributes. We can say that all of them have body parts. So we can have a vehicle class being the main or the parent class, and then the subclasses will be car, motor, and then ship or airplane and all that. All right, so that being said, you can now inherit them. You can now inherit when you're trying to create a class called car or motor, you can inherit the vehicle class so that you wouldn't have to redeclare certain attributes of the vehicle. You get it? Like I said, body parts. All right, I'm making these instances because I don't want to write code. I want us to do the coding in the next session so that Robert can record, because this part is very, very important. All right. Any question?
I think it's okay, but I don't know if you could give an example of such.
Yeah, we'll do examples in the next. We'll do an example in the next when we exit and return.
Okay, all right.
All right, so now let's exit and then join, okay? So that I can do this fast.